So here is the part everybody's been waiting for. My trip and visit to the Pyramids of Giza and the National Museum and of course Cairo. It was a freaking awesome trip. But there was one small catch, and I blame it all on this guy. I just discovered something really fun. Departure for Cairo is 4:20 in the morning, and for the night owl me, yeah, that's gonna be great fun. Because basically, I didn't sleep before the trip, because wake up was at 3 a.m., which is... Yeah, remember the last video I said I was a Q type? Or even a Z type when it comes to a morning person. Instead of going to sleep, I just stayed up and I slept on the plane and I slept where I could over the day. That is the reason why it's very few videos of me myself in front of the pyramids and so on, and why I'm going to be narrating the video. But let me tell you the story of the trip. So we were picked up at the hotel at 4:20 in the morning, arrived at the airport for 7 a.m. flight, where we flew from Sharm el-Sheikh to Cairo, which was fine, which was really fine, except for one extremely funny thing. I didn't catch it on camera because I'm not still at the place where I want to use my camera that much at an airport. When you enter the Sharm el-Sheikh airport, you go through security 3 times. Considering the status of the world in the next countries, understandable. 3rd time was the funny part. Well, I line up, I walk through the metal detector, I'm patted down, and I'm waiting for my luggage. And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And then I look over and I see the guy who is supposed to be scanning the luggage asleep. And the guy who is patting people down just looks at what's holding up the line and he just yells something in Arabic, and the guy goes like, oh my God, and starts scanning the things really fast. Fortunately, it was the last security check and highly doubtful anything would get through the first 2. The 3rd one was, in my opinion, kinda unnecessary, but still, it's the rule of the land, so you do what they tell you. But yeah, it just so proves that everybody's human. So after the plane trip, we land in Cairo and we go to the pyramids. And I just have to say, the pyramids are huge. I always thought they were huge, but not that huge, because it really shows you a reason why they're actually one of the 7 wonders of the world, because they're humongous, and the technology that was needed for it was definitely technology that we could have used later on, but was obviously lost because it was never written down as our tour guide went through. But the tour guide did show us a couple of holes that were used for moving them around. So I believe it was humans, maybe contrary to popular belief, but it actually was humans. But yeah, we looked at the pyramids and the Sphinx, and it was freaking cool. It was really cool. Let's just enjoy the visual images that I got from that. If you watched this far along, how about hitting the subscribe and like button? It would really mean a lot. So after the pyramids, we drove to the National Museum, but on our way, I can't remember which way it was, either to the pyramids or to the National Museum, the tour guide told us one unbelievable fact, and that was in Cairo, because Cairo is a huge center for everything, and people come there to make a better life for them. But they have housing shortage that is way out of the realm of my small puny brain, that is I can't understand, which is they had a huge influx of people, and the influx of people didn't have any place to stay. But they have a huge graveyard with big mausoleums and so on. We didn't visit it, but this is what the tour guide said. It's not that there is 5,000, not 50,000, not 500,000, but rather 5 million people living in the graveyards, in the mausoleums, just living day-to-day life, which is absolutely mind-blowing. It's like, oh, yeah, I thought Western housing shortage was bad, but, well, Cairo definitely topped that one. Yeah, most definitely. It's, oh my God, it was like 5 million people living in a graveyard. I somewhat wanted to see that, but at the same time, I don't want to see that because I am not a fan of human misery. Hell no. Well, after that tidbit, we went to the National Museum after we had a small lunch at on a riverboat on the Nile. It was not a highlight of the trip, and past me was kind of agreeing on that because, yeah, I didn't even pick up a camera there because, yeah, it was just food, something to eat, and I got a couple of minutes to myself, and yeah, so off we go to the National Museum. Another thing, well, again, not with my camera on. It was getting to be a theme of this trip, but as the bus is driving into the parking lot for the National Museum, he puts his blinker on, unbelievable but true, puts his blinker on and drives slowly into the parking lot, well, through the gate. And as he is starting to drive through the gate, I watch the people walk by and so on, and there's one guy who's watching something over here, and the bus is here, and he walks straight into the bus. And the commotion after that, it was comedic gold. The guy didn't look any hurt or anything, even though he fell to the ground, but I would say it was definitely his fault because, yeah, he walked into a big ass bus and started banging on the door, and I was going like, oh my God, why don't I have my camera on me? Yeah, it was comedic gold, unbelievable. But we entered the National Museum, and we got a small tour and then a free time. National Museum has 186,000 items just in it, and they're still recouping items that were sold, stolen, and so on. Looking at you, British Museum, those ain't your things. But it was immense. You could spend literally months looking at those things. And it was so cool. So let me take you on a tour a little bit of what I saw and what I thought was cool. And just to close it off, the tour, after the tour, we just headed to the airport and back home. But I did catch one thing on camera, and that is the Cairo traffic. Holy hell. Never in my life. Okay, there's a couple of factors that I would never want to drive anywhere. And two of them, well, mainly the main factor is safety. I never want to drive where there's left-handed driving, because my brain does not function in that scenario. It's right-hand sided driving, perfect. I can drive anywhere there. I've driven in California, I've driven in Nevada, Arizona, and so on. I've driven in a couple of countries where there's right-handed driving. But the only country I've visited so far that has right-handed driving, and I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot stick, is Cairo. Rules are just suggestions to them. That is the video, and remember to like and subscribe. Please subscribe because it really helps me. So see you in the next one.